there's a lot of tired kids around this morning, definitely. But there's still this chat. There seems to be a little murmur of it's coming home, floating around the school as well. We're just going to keep them under control today.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, we'll probably be honest and say John had a quiet game in terms of what he's capable of. First half was, we had, he was a bit nervous, I think, probably, but he came through in the end. Really proud of what he's achieved so far, though. I think, the goal we conceded yesterday was one of those wonder goals from a free kick. I think, the power and placement of it, it was, that caused trouble, but he's come back, and I think played 6 games so far in that tournament. Is it right? 5 games? 5 games in that tournament so far, and basically, 1 goal. It's good.
Yeah, sure.
I think we were at an advantage because his mum worked here at the time, so we knew who Jordan was and where he came from, and he was already a goalkeeper, so we're taking no claim to fame of developing Jordan Pickford into a keeper, I think. But we knew what he was like in terms of being a sporty child, and he was very much, whatever sport he put his heart to, he wanted to compete and he wanted to win. And that's probably my memories of him, taking part in cricket, cross country, all the things that we put on, and especially the year 7, year 8 pupil. That's when he was very much focused and wanted to take part in as much as possibly could. Cricket, he went to Washington Cricket Club and took that up as well, and cross country he was very good at. Yeah, I think I do remember. I think the other PE teachers at this time, Mr. Welsh and co, were very complimentary of how he performed in those, and that's what it's about. It's these pupils have got to try in different sports as well.
Yeah, I
think he was one of those boys who loved his sport more than anything else. Loved playing football. So, that's the probably message to get there, is that yes, he was very ball mad and wanted to do that. And what we probably had to do at St Roberts is probably get his academic studies online as well, get that balance just right. I think the head teacher at the time, the new academy system had come in when they started to have the day release. So for Jordan, that was his kind of focus, making sure that there was no issues in the school, so that he would make sure he would get that day release. And I'll be honest with him, he was very good. He came through, by the end of year 11, he was a very mature, level-headed, I'll say, lad who was very focused, very focused on his football. But then, that's what we wanted to come out with in school. He wanted to make sure that he did have that level-headed approach.
Sure.
I think he'd already played for the England schoolboys, actually, just as he was leaving, and that was a massive celebrity status kind of thing, and a massive achievement. Yes, I think his mum still worked here till just before the World Cup, so that was, Jordan would pop in every now and again, and as time went on, popping in became more of an issue, shall we say, a bit of a distraction. So yeah, his celebrity status definitely went up as the years went on, and obviously I think until about the age of 19, 20, Jordan was still popping in here. Well, actually 21, 20, he was still popping into school because it was here basically. So that, that celebrity status is now even higher. I think like the Jordan Henderson story as well. I think it's the same sort of kind of feeling. A boy from the northeast has gone on to represent his country at the highest level. This could be to any pupil, boy or girl now. It's kind of a carrot for them to kind of aspire to be like that. And football gets a massive media coverage, and it's other sports that we can use that as a kind of tool to make sure these pupils kind of see, well, actually dedication, hard work, sometimes a little bit of luck, sometimes performing right on the day gets you success. So it's mentioned throughout the school as we do PE lessons, etc. This is where Jordan Pickford came. This is where he played football on those fields. He walked those corridors. He sat in registration just like you this morning. And I think that's probably the message we get across to them. It's, this boy's from Washington. He's gone on and representing England, be number 1, and look, they've reached the European final, which is a fantastic achievement.
Sure.
So I think, here's a Scotsman speaking about the England team, but I think they're a very mature group of players this time. They're very much the same sort of player. They keep themselves to themselves, and I think that's shown in not only how they act off the pitch. They're a very tight unit, and that's probably the way they've been brought up as a group. They've probably been together quite a lot in terms of the schoolboy football, under 19s, under 21s. And I think that's been a massive impact on how they apply themselves on and off the pitch. They're a credit, really.